When you first jump into your virtual Valkyrie cockpit, you'll find yourself at the controls of one of the game's most versatile craft, the Wraith. But although it's easy to make your presence felt on the battlefield almost immediately, there are a wealth of warships and weaponry still to explore and master. In this video, we're going to look at the heavy ship class. Your own personal squadron begins to expand beyond the Wraith fighter after you've claimed a few clone scalps and reached rank 3. At this point, your first heavy ship is unlocked, the Spectre, and its base stats give it a very different feel to the Wraith. All heavy class ships are essentially tanks, much slower moving than fighters and positively lumbering when compared to support vessels. The low top speeds under standard propulsion are further compounded by poor turning circles, so prepare yourself for being outmaneuvered on a regular basis if you get close to the fray, like sparrowhawks circling an overfed Christmas turkey.
You're gonna need to turn this around.
But all is not lost. Craft within the heavy class boast powerful micro warp drives, which, when things get a little bit too hot to handle, afford you the chance to put some serious distance between yourself and the enemy, buying you time to recover and rejoin battle. Not only this, but the warp drive is also fast enough to outrun and outrange homing missiles after they've already locked on. Whatever the situation though, just remember to start charging your warp drive at the very first hint that things are going to get nasty, or it might already be too late. Helping to counter the heavy class's poor maneuverability, all craft are bristling with head-tracked weaponry, allowing you to aim simply by moving your head. With practice, this can become incredibly powerful, allowing you to deal a huge amount of damage from a distance with fast, accurate aim corrections. With the Spectre's flak cannon, among others, it's also worth quickly tapping the trigger rather than holding it down, as constant firing will gradually reduce the cannon's accuracy. Also, if your prey moves too far to one side or the other, you'll only be able to bring one cannon to bear. There is also good variety in the available arsenal across the class too. For example, the Rhino's more powerful tri-flak cannon, which, like the Spectre's projectiles, have proximity fuses which detonate when close to the enemy, or the long-range and devastating homing missiles of the Goliath. Depending on which craft you're spending time with, it's also worth dropping some silver on upgrades, as these can really make a difference to your performance on the battlefield. Heavy ships wear the thickest armour and project the strongest shields in the game, so you can take quite the pounding before you need to turn tail and lick your wounds. They also all boast one other defensive measure. The Spectre, for example, has an EMS, an electromagnetic shield, which, when activated, will protect you from incoming missiles and allow you to fire your main weapons back out, potentially stunning the enemy. Similar to most fighter-class ships, the Rhino has the simpler projectile countermeasures, launching chaff into the path of incoming missiles. Finally, some heavy craft like the Goliath can release spider bots into the void. Firstly, these can break the lock of incoming missiles. They then also spin a web into which yourself or friendly craft can fly to gain some damage repair, while if an enemy ship strays in, the spiders will latch on and do some serious damage of their own. To find out more about Eve Valkyrie, just head over to the website at evevalkyrie.com.